Welcome to Resolve IBS and IBD Naturally. I'm Courtney Cowie, a nutrition therapy and functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. If you are struggling with the symptoms of IBS or IBD and want to get to the root cause of your symptoms so you can take back your health through a whole person approach, this podcast is for you. Just a disclaimer that the information I'm presenting in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. You should always consult a qualified practitioner before making any changes to your health or medical regimen. That being said, let's get on with the show. Rob, Renee, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you. So I'm just going to read a quick bio on you so the listening audience is familiar with your story. You're a former high-level athlete and near-death survivor whose life was transformed after a near-fatal accident. You have a deep passion for natural health and have you become an inspiring keynote speaker, herbalist, and molecular hydrogen researcher. So we're going to hear a lot about that today. And you're also a frequency medicine specialist who uses cutting-edge techniques to heal, while your investigative work exposes the hidden truths behind the mainstream medical system. Yeah, there's a lot to say on that topic too. You are the host of the I Am Pain Free podcast, where you explore natural and faithful living, bringing to light topics like the censorship of natural health, the power of frequency medicine, and the ancient healing wisdom found in the Bible. Through his company, Exodus Strong, Rob is on a mission to help people break free from big pharma drugs and embrace natural solutions. With the launch of his transformational supplement, Exodus, Rob combines 2,000 years of biblical healing herbs with the scientifically backed benefits of molecular hydrogen, offering a path to better energy, stress relief, and overall health. Your goal is to help 1 million people read the Bible every day and to guide individuals towards a healthier, more vibrant life. With Rob, it's all about exiting the old you and stepping into a new life filled with energy, wellness, and faith. And I just love this. I love that you have this spiritual perspective that you're going to bring to the conversation today, Rob. I think this often gets missed and is very
Yeah.
much needed as part of whole person healing. And I'm totally with you in the whole exposing the limitations and often scary parts of what's really going on behind the scenes with big pharma and some of the conventional
Yeah,
medicine.
it's just so enlightening it's really really frustrating when you learn the truth, but at the same point, then it's like after you learn the truth, then there's what's the path forward, and that's what I'm excited
Yes.
that how we can help people moving forward, right? Just we need to educate people on the right ways to do things and the dangers of things that people are telling you to do. They're probably not the right thing to do. It's more motivated for cash than it is for wealth instead of health, right? So
Exactly.
let's get people healthy. That's my main goal, right? Really, I think there's a huge problem in our society, and I'm real excited to just help people in a real tangible way that will get them well. And then obviously I do have faith is a big part of my journey and a part of who I am, and I really believe that if you are going to help impact the kingdom, that you can't do it sitting on the couch. And so if you're sick and you're not feeling well and not doing well, then you're not going to have an impact on the kingdom. So I want to get you well, I want to get you healthy, and I want to, at least share my philosophy with faith and hope that you have an impact on the kingdom. And that's my goal. I just want, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to look at my Lord and Savior when I die and say, have him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Because everything up until just a few years ago, I don't think I would have gotten that. And so that's every day I wake up. It's like, how can I be a good servant to him, and how can I help people? And I think by helping people, that's going to get me where I want to go. So anyway, super excited about it. Lots of fun stuff to
Yeah.
talk about.
Oh, for sure. And I think just starting with your story will be really, really good for people to hear because I think this ties into just who you are spiritually, just having a mind for holistic healing and health, right? Like it sounds like you have a pretty incredible story with a pretty severe trauma you had, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to share that with us?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, a defining moment in your life, right? So I grew up as a young athlete and I loved all sports, but I just became running was just a thing I became really passionate about and just was really good at. So I naturally gravitated toward that and ended up being really good as a youth athlete. I won a national cross country championship when I was young, and I was like, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this. God gave me this gift and talent, and so I really started working hard at it and dedicated my life to that. And as I went through high school, it was like I ended up getting a full ride running scholarship to a Division I school to run. And
Wow.
I was just like, wow, this is cool. I was like, my goal in life at that point was to become a professional runner. Because at that, when I was in college and in school 20 plus years ago, it was not a lot of people were making money running. It was a really audacious goal, but I'm like, I want to do it. And the school I went to was producing professional runners, so I was super excited about it. And I had just made the U.S. junior team, which is so it's the second best miler in the country for 19 years and younger. And so I was really doing well. I made a U.S. Junior team, and I traveled all across the globe actually, and won one of the international races. So I beat all the kids from the 6 different countries and beat the guy who beat me at our national championship. And I'm just like, man, life is good. Life is going so great. And out in the that winter, as I was doing a training run after that season, where just doing the best possible, things were going fantastic, and out on a training run, and it was out. It was cold and probably 0 degrees and wind chill factor and snowing, and the roads were all covered with snow and ice. And we were out doing a 10-mile run, and my friend and I were running along, and my buddy just said, he said, Rob, he yelled my name, and he jumped in the ditch. He was running behind me. He jumped in the ditch and yelled my name, and I had enough time to turn around to just see a 4x4 truck coming sliding into me, and I had
Oh,
nowhere to go. I couldn't move. I couldn't jump. I couldn't do anything other than say, I'm gonna get hit. And this 4x4 truck squarely hit me in the hip and then threw me 36 feet. So I
oh,
landed straight on my face, was the first thing that landed. So 36 feet is a really long way. And my body just slung in the air, and I landed straight on my face, and then my knees hit next, and it knocked me unconscious. So that was bad. But the worst part about it is I'd had a bloody nose earlier in the run. So my throat got clogged. And so
oh,
I'm laying unconscious on the side of the road and can't breathe. Not a good situation. So
no.
I was really, really blessed that my friend that was running with me knew I had that bloody nose. He talked to me when I only thing I could do was squeeze his hand to he recognized I was there, but not there. And he ended up unclogging my throat. And if he wouldn't have unclogged my throat to breathe, I would have died that day. So that was really a scary moment and a really difficult time in my life, because it was like everything I'd been working for my entire life up to that point was just taken away. And so but at the same point, I really felt that God had a plan for my life. Like, okay, you know, why did you save me? Right? There's a reason why I was saved for that day, and I was spiritual, but not more of a creaster. I don't know if you ever heard that term, but it's like, I'd go to church on Christmas and Easter. We we
So
went
many
quite a
of
bit
those,
more than
right?
that, but it's more of like a Sunday. I was a Sunday person, right? I'd go to church on Sunday and I'd be all, oh, the message is great, great message today. And as soon as the door hit me in the butt, leaving church, I didn't think about faith or God or the Bible or anything until the next Sunday. And I go, oh, that's a great sermon. Boom, then I wouldn't think about it again. So I wasn't really acting on my faith and not becoming a real good person that I really want to be. So anyway, fast forward to the next truck. So this truck that hit me wasn't a physical truck. So the first truck was physical, had a huge transformation in my life. I lost my whole goal in life of where I was going, and I had to recover from that. And I did. It took me a long time, and I went into the corporate world and started doing what the world tells you to do. The world tells you need to go to college and get a degree. You need to get a job. You need to have a family. You need to have 3 kids. You need to have a white picket fence. You need to have a dog. You need to follow your favorite sports team, and you need to do all these things that just like suck up all your time. And I did all of that, right? Did what I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do, and then boom, the second truck hit me. It had a similar effect on the first one from a distance, swiped the whole world out from underneath me. And that was the pandemic.
Wow.
Everybody got hit by the same truck that I got hit by, and it's affected everybody in different ways. But this is the one that really got me into who I am at today. I went back, and one of the things I noticed when I lost my job was because I couldn't travel. I was in the sales at the time, and I started seeing these doctors that were being vilified for recommending natural sources. And being a runner, I knew how important nutrition was, right? So it
Mhm.
was like really, really important to me as I was a collegiate runner. I mean, I was very, very strict with what I ate because I knew what I ate fueled my body, right? So
Mhm.
important. And so when they started vilifying these doctors for recommending vitamin D, I'm like, hold on, there's a problem here because vitamin D is from the sun. Vitamin D is very, very important for your health. So why would they crucify this person who's just recommending vitamin D to help you with your health? And it's like, that just doesn't add up. So I started being an investigative journalist, right? I'm like, I'm going to go figure out why. Why are they vilifying him? What doesn't make sense? Is this guy bad? Hey, maybe he's really bad. So I went down and researched. This guy was amazing. Doctor helping thousands of patients and helping people. And so I'm like, okay, that's not it. And so I just started researching. And oh my gosh, what I uncovered was just ridiculous. It was like I had no clue how evil our world was from a there's really good versus evil fight going on in our world right now. And it's a spiritual battle. That's my opinion, but it's not right versus left. It's not black versus white. It's not color or race or sex or anything that is the difference. They're trying to get us to fight amongst ourselves, but we are all human beings, right? And so the frustrating thing to me is as I uncovered that problem within the health world, I'm like, okay, this is really evil. They're doing things for a reason, and that reason is not to help people. And so
Exactly.
I got a lot of research behind that. If you're interested or anybody's interested, I can help them with that. But lo and behold, back in the early 1900s, our medical system was really taken over. They started teaching just Rockefeller-based
Mhm.
medicine, which is all based upon pills for ills. And so that became our medical system. And I love every nurse and practitioner and people in the health world are fantastic. They usually have very good hearts and they're trying to help people. Our system is just totally screwed up. So, and it incents them in a totally wrong way. It doesn't incent anybody to heal anybody, right? It only incents them the system is set up to compensate people for helping sick people just continue to be sick, which is stupid. And anyway, so I could talk about that problem for quite a while. But the whole reason why I mentioned that second truck, it was like it just had such a huge impact on my life because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're not there to help us. And I wanted to protect my family. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, what do I do to help protect my family? I'm going to go start researching what I can do to help my family. So I was going to first start creating supplements. And then, so I started looking at ways I could create solutions to help my family. And it's been so exciting this path because I've just found so many good things that you can do naturally and then faithfully. As part of
Mhm.
this journey, my faith with God just has gone through the roof because I ended up moving from Oregon to Dallas, Texas, and at Dallas, this amazing church that I'm a part of is they've got 300 men that get together every Saturday. They call them mighty men, but the cool thing about it is it's like they're really teaching people how to be men in this world to fight for the kingdom. And it's like
Mhm.
I'd never been part of a men's group that is literally arming their men with the knowledge about the Bible and how to be a good man, how to be a good leader, and how to talk about your faith in a way that's not scary to other people, as well as not offensive to other people. Right? I don't care what you believe. Right? We're all human beings. I'm going to tell you what I believe now because I really am. I really have a huge belief system and believe in that. But if you don't, that's totally fine. But anyway, so went down this road where like, okay, I learned a ton about health and I learned a ton about faith. And so I really deem myself as a faith and health warrior right now. That's my goal in life, is to help people with their health. And as I'm helping them with their health, if they're interested in a faith discussion, fantastic. And I'm going to lead both. I'm going to lead with health, and I'm going to lead with faith. And if you're interested in both, fantastic, right? If you're only interested in one, fine. I've got some amazing health solutions. They're going to help you regardless of who you are or what you believe in. You're going to love some of the products that we're coming up with because they're amazing. But part of that thing that you mentioned earlier on was the connection of the mind body spirit thing is really real, right? Your
Mhm.
mind is so powerful. It can do so many things to your health that is incredible. So if you can get your mind, body, and spirit all aligned, you can just make changes that you wouldn't believe. So anyway, sorry I went on for such a long overview of who I am and my story. That's it, right? I went from
Yeah.
being a young athlete, and now I have a huge passion for helping people with their faith and their health.
Oh, I think that's awesome, Rob. And one of the reasons why I really wanted to have you on is because I don't think we should be afraid to talk about our beliefs and our faith, right? Not that
Yeah,
everybody has to agree with a certain specific viewpoint, but I do think that the most authentic and true people are the ones who have been through pretty significant circumstances, and they've actually strengthened their faith. They've actually
yeah.
found like more meaning in that circumstance that has like carried them forward. And so there was a lot in what you just said. And so I could probably touch on 5 different things, but
Right, right. We
if
we
we
can
go
talk about a
back
lot.
yeah, if we go back to just one thing I was curious about your story, just to have you speak on this a little bit, is when that physical truck hit you running and you were pretty injured, did you have to go through kind of a process of transformation like in grieving the loss of your running? Did you kind of go through a lot of just the difficult emotions that anyone would who's been, hit with a really hard challenge and sort of you set your sights on this and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden something different's been served up before you got to that place of acceptance and then eventually seeing it as a bigger, more spiritual opportunity, right? Like this, maybe
Right.
what you thought was the plan wasn't the plan and this was the plan. So I'd love to hear you talk
That's
about
right.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds great because that is really, really interesting. I honestly believe that God has me on this earth for this particular reason, and
Yeah.
I didn't have that feeling all up until just the last couple of years. So it's
Yeah.
taken me 50 plus years to figure it out. But if I
Yeah.
go back and I look back at my life, He trained me with everything that I have been doing for this time. He
Yeah.
trained me as a young athlete of how to be competitive, how to learn how to use nutrition to be a better performer than others, how to just have tenacity, right? And then
Yeah.
boom, when that truck did hit me and I did lose everything, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was just as bad or worse than losing, your family member or going through a death, which those are the worst things that can happen to people, right? It just sucks when
Yeah.
that happens. And so I went through the whole grieving process because I'd lost everything. I'd lost my whole. In fact, I'll never forget this one moment. There's still every time I talk about it, I tear up. I try to get through this, but the second day I was in the hospital, I was laying in the bed and I asked for a mirror. And if you remember, I landed on my face. So this
Yeah.
this part of my face had a plastic surgeon that had to come in and reconstruct my face. And when I looked in the mirror, I had this great big huge puffy face on this side of my face, and I don't want any disrespect for anybody who has a deformity, because I don't want to say anything bad, but I felt in my heart that I looked like the Elephant Man, and
Yeah.
I just my heart just went straight to my toe, and I just bottomed out. I started bawling. And I was like, no one's gonna love me.
Yeah.
I just really, really felt that literally for the rest of my life, I'm going to be a freak, and no one's going to love me, and my life is over. So I went to that bottom, right? It's like, oh my gosh, this is everything's over, and so man, did I climb out of that? Yes. Was it hard? Very hard. Because
Yeah.
I even to this day, I still can't go down and run on a street and have cars coming towards my back. So I got to be running towards traffic, or riding a bike towards traffic because I can't have that feeling of something coming from behind me. So, still dealing with that, but I do know that it was for a reason, right? God said, okay, well, you did really well with that part. Okay, now it's off to the next, right? And the next one was a career in selling enterprise software. I got really good at communicating with people, and I got good at talking to groups of people and large groups of people, and talking about how technology can really help them and improve their life and their businesses, and I got really good at that. Boom, done. You're done with that, Rob. Now you're on to the next thing, and now the next thing is health, right? And it's like, okay, I want you to go. And the only reason I would be interested in health, I loved health, I loved being healthy, but I had no interest in helping other people, right, with their health. And but I saw that vitamin D guy. I'm like, there's something wrong with that, right? So now I've got this skill set that I want everybody to have. Everybody needs to have this skill set, is just researching things for yourself. Don't
Yes.
believe what the media says. Don't believe what I say. Don't believe what the newspaper says. Don't believe what the podcast you just listened to says. Take that in as information and a data point, but then go do your own research and research it against all the things against each other. Research what these guys are saying, and then come up with your own conclusion. Because once you start looking at things from that perspective, then your truth can come out. And when you start realizing that there is a big problem with our society and the information that we're getting is controlled, that was one of the first things I learned. I was like, oh my gosh, the information that I've been fed my entire life is a controlled message, controlled by the people that want me to think and do a certain thing. And that's
Totally.
frustrating as heck. I got so mad when I realized, like, I've been deceived for 50 years of my life. And so I went through a grieving period for that, because I'm just like, we live in America, right? This country is amazing. We have great journalism. We have great, I thought we had great everything. And, lo and behold, guess what? We don't. We have a lot of things that are wrong with this country, and a lot of things that are wrong with our government and our information systems, et cetera. But the cool thing is, now I have this skill set that you can't take away, this ability for me to go do my own research and
Yeah.
understand things myself. And now we have so much information out there that and not even AI, even AI is amazing, but it's can be trained to give you a different perspective that might not be the right
Mhm.
one. So you have to go look at different perspectives with even what AI is giving you. But anyway, so that's a fun thing. So I just think doing research for yourself is super important. And I don't even know what the original question of how I got to here.
Oh,
Did I
yeah, no,
answer your question?
yeah, no, you answered it. And I mean, we'll circle back to this because I think just kind of speaking to the whole mindset and psychology of what do you do when you've been dealt a really difficult circumstance. So you
Yeah.
definitely spoke to that. You spoke to that for
Okay.
sure, Rob. But I did want to kind of follow up to everything you were saying, in that I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like that era we were in with COVID, it really opened people's eyes, right? Like I feel
Yeah.
like the people that were primed to see could see, right? And
Yeah.
I had the exact same sentiment. When I started actually realizing what was going on, I thought, "Oh my gosh, this has, like, been going on for a long, long
Yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
unbeknownst to us."
It's not new, right? The
Exactly.
pandemic was new, but the way that
Exactly.
our information has been controlled, and the information we've been given has been the same controlled system for hundreds of years,
I
at
know,
least decades.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah,
wow, when you understand that, and you're like, ah, now I
yeah,
get it, right? So it's like
yeah.
you start seeing things in such a different light that then you can start making better decisions, because you can go do your own research, right? My
Yes.
wife gets mad at me because she'll come tell me something really cool, and yeah, I'll take it because I respect her, and I'll take her information, but I'm not going to accept that as truth. And that's
Yeah,
anybody that tells me something, I'm going to take it in, and I'll take it, and I'll go look against my all of my resources, and I'll say, okay, yeah, that thing you taught me about grounding, you are amazing. I thought you were
yeah,
crazy, but grounding is amazing. Grounding
yeah.
is just so awesome for you. It's not ground every day, right? There's so many things with that. I'm open to learning new things, and I really want to help people. It's been a blast just to go down this path, because there's so much out there that we can do to help people that they don't
Yes.
understand. So that's why I'm having so much fun with Exodus and what we're doing, because we're taking biblical ingredients that have been around for thousands of years, and there's a reason why they're there, right? There's a reason why they were in the Bible, and now we're taking combining it with new scientifically proven elements, but guess what? Those elements are God created. Hydrogen is one of the things that we help people with, and it's like that's the most common element in the world, right? And so
Yeah.
we're taking these cool things, and then we're helping people with their health in such a natural way that it's really having a huge impact on people's bodies. And then guess what?
Yes.
Their health starts getting better, their mind starts getting clear, and then they can get
Exactly.
off the couch and they can go to their Bible study and they can they can read the Bible, be interested in the Bible. We have prayer guides that go with every one of our products just because we want them to literally say a prayer out loud when they're using
Mm,
our product, because we want them to use their mouth to declare it, their eyes to read it, and their ears to hear themselves say it. And they're using multiple senses to help them with their health. And I
yeah.
believe that's really, really important that, man, you can use these multiple senses. Your mind is so important, your soul is important, and your body's important. They can work together to help you, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a fascinating journey.
Yeah, and research actually has shown that whether it's a practice of gratitude or prayer before a meal, that improves digestion, right? So
Yeah.
there is data and science to back that. It's not super woo-woo. And one
No.
thing I just wanted to mention that's kind of on the same theme, Rob, before we dive into your products here is one of the more prolific things I think I discovered during the COVID era was just how unfortunately, there is this agenda to kind of denature the mind, denature the body, if you will, with a lot of these like pharmaceutical overdoses and just mega doses and multiple
Right.
doses of things people get over their lifetime, as well as just the food supply in a lot of the ways that really processed. I mean, just to be very specific, like things like the Impossible Burger, there's some type of synthetic steroid that goes into that type of processed food product where
That's right.
you
That's right.
really have to question, like, okay, if this is all meant for the greater good and saving the planet and making everybody, healthier and this is all so much better for everybody, like, why is this getting further and further from like whole real foods that people have eaten for hundreds of years?
That's
And
right.
in kind of doing this sort of denaturing of the mind and subjecting people to lots of synthetic drugs, we could argue that's dumbing kind of spiritual clarity down. It's dumbing down your ability to think clearly. And that's a very ideal place for people to end up if they're in a position where someone higher wants to control them, right?
That's
So,
right.
like,
No,
yeah,
what you just unpacked is very, very powerful and is very, very real. I mean,
yeah,
there's literally an agenda to depopulize the world and
right.
to depopulate the world. And it's just like, what? I mean, who has that evil plan? Why would you think? Then you start seeing these people that they talking about, and this is real stuff. This you can literally go find it. That there's Bill
Yeah.
Gates and other people are literally working on ways to depopulate the earth, and they want us to be sheeple. They want us to just fall in line and follow the crowd, because guess what? Once they can control the crowd, then they can do anything they want. And so, man, you're so
Yes.
right. If we get rid of that, because our water is bad, our air
Bad.
is
Yep.
bad, and our food is bad. And guess
Yep.
what? We all have to live off of our water, food, and air, right?
Right.
So you have to just know that. And then, but the cool thing is there are ways that you can help yourself. And so
Yes.
that's what I have a really fun time doing is, guess what? The sun is amazing for you. You need to get the sun on your face. And first
Yeah.
45 minutes of the day, it's like blue light. It's like so healthy for you. And then
Yes.
go ground, right? Get your feet on the God's given earth, and it just resets your energy system. It's just incredible. Things
Yes.
that I would never have believed. I thought people are nuts, right? But
Yeah.
just start teaching people things. I love to talk about then just healthy water, right? Our water is so bad with the fluoride and all the crap. You can't drink tap
Chemicals.
water anymore. You have to literally filter all the crap out to
Yep.
then drink it. But man, you have to be hydrated. Your body, most people are dehydrated. That's one of the biggest problems people have, right? I know you spend a lot of time with people in their gut health, right? Because
Yeah.
that's so important. That's the foundation of your body. If you don't
Mhm.
get your gut right, you can't get your body right. So
Yes.
you need to have it all starts within the gut and the core. So man, you gotta, and the whole food discussion is really, really fun because the the uh 75% of our food is processed foods now. So it's like,
Yeah.
but and no matter where you go to eat, it's like if you start looking at the what you're eating, it's really, really hard to find good whole food now.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
why is it so difficult? They
Yeah.
make it so easy for you to use all these other
Mhm.
tools that are there for you. The fast food joint on the side of the corner, the gas station you go to, and we're always so busy, right? Remember that life that I would tell you about they've manufactured for us? You need to do all these things because life is so busy and you don't have time to spend getting good food, getting good water, getting good air, getting sun, grounding. You don't have time to do that because you're busy, right? You got to go make a living. So I'm having a blast just teaching people. There's like, to start making a change, right? I want you to do probably 10 changes over time, but let's just start with one.
Right.
Right. Let's maybe
Right.
hydrate. Let's start there. Let's get you hydrated. Okay, good. Now you got that one down. Good. Let's go
Yeah.
get you grounded. Right. Go do some grounding every day. Then you start
Totally.
these making these little incremental steps, and it's so incredible to see people's health improve in such a dramatic way that just like I never knew it was so easy because
Oh,
people just don't understand it. So I'm having really a fun time just taking people along a journey, saying, okay, where are you? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Let's help you get there. And it's a
exactly.
lot of
Oh yeah,
fun.
one step at a time. No, I totally agree. And it sounds maybe basic to us because you and I have been in this for a minute, right, Rob? But
Right.
yeah, it isn't that easy because you said, like as you said, it's the people who I think really embrace holistic health, whole foods eating, health, truly healthy lifestyle. Unfortunately, it still is the minority, and we're
Yeah.
hoping that's
Very
going to
much.
grow, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does take work, and this is the biggest misconception I have to bust with a lot of prospective people that reach out to me. It's like it's actually going to take investment, like financial investment to work hard to be healthy. It doesn't have to cost you a fortune, but it
Right.
is going to take that ownership. And I would argue in the long haul, it's still a much more affordable route to invest in your own health and do things holistically the right way through proper food and diet, because major surgeries and procedures down the road in the conventional medical system, that's going to cost you far more, and then you have to factor
Yeah.
in all of the lost energy and time and just lifestyle like change that comes with that. Like so many people then get so sick they can't recover, right? So
Right. Yep.
yeah, so
Yep.
it's a big area that's growing, and I think a lot of people are really like hungry for information, which is a
They
good
are.
thing.
It's really, and like you said earlier, I think you mentioned that it's a great awakening, or you mentioned, the people are waking up at least,
Yes.
right? And I
Yes.
call it the great awakening because it really is important because people are realizing that there is an evil part of this thing going
Yes.
on, right? I
Yeah.
think you just see the whole Anthony Fauci thing that's like, that guy wasn't there to help us, right? Like, really? He was like one of the main guys that's supposed to be helping us, and you realize you do some research about him and what's happened. It's like, oh my gosh, this
I
is
know.
evil stuff. And so, but people at least now are seeing that. So I think it was good. And the only thing that good came out of that type of thing is that people are now aware. Like,
It's
oh my
true.
gosh, maybe I need to think about what they're telling me I need to stick in my body. Do I
Yeah.
really need it? Do I really need to get that? Why do I need to get that? What is that? So these people starting to ask questions, and then
Yeah.
this whole holistic and natural health thing is really, really important. Even getting down to the point of our soil is not good, right? We need to regenerate our soil in a much better way. So you can start all the way to the plant to how it gets into your mouth, and it's
Yeah.
a whole journey. But like you said, people's mindsets need to change because you can't just continue with what you're doing today, with the bad habits that you have today and the bad food you're eating today, and
Mhm.
change the outcome. And that the one of the biggest reasons for people going bankrupt is medical
Medical bills,
bills,
exactly.
right? So
Yeah.
that you got to look at in your future and say, okay, I have this retirement plan, but guess what? That retirement plan, one major health issue after you're retired, we could wipe that out in a second. And
Right.
even with Medicare and Medicaid, which is the problem with those too, is they're only going to approve you to do certain things in a certain way, which guess
Exactly.
what? Sorry to be a bummer, but those are not necessarily the things that are going to help you heal. And so
Exactly.
that's where the dichotomy comes. You're really stuck, right? You're like, I have to use this because they're going to pay for it. But like, yeah, they're going to do that just to continue to keep you sick and unhealthy and
Yes.
yet instead of getting cured. So let's go
Yes.
get people cured and healthy, teach them how to do that, and let's spread the love, right? Let's spread that wealth, let's spread that information, and let's get people the information they need to cure their gut, right? And get their gut healthy. And then guess what? Once your gut gets healthy, your other organs start working the way they're supposed to be. God gave us this incredible body that is super complex, way more complex than I think any of us can ever understand. Yet it's designed to heal itself.
Hmm.
What? Amazing, right? That's so incredible. But 99% of the people don't really realize that is true. If you give your body the nutrients that it needs and that let it operate the way it was supposed to, the way that he made it to, the nutrients he gave us on this earth, right, to use. And once you start getting a healthy body, guess what? Your body has this immune system that fights off those things, right?
Totally.
Cancer comes into your body, boom, your body fights it off because your body is healthy and it knows to do that. So the problem
Yes.
is we abuse our bodies for so many long years and decades, and we have all this external stuff happening where, lots of people are having bad health issues because of that abuse, but then also just because of the air and the water and the food that we just talked about.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not healthy stuff. So
Oh, for
anyway,
sure.
there you
No,
go.
that's so great. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I was drawn to functional medicine in the very first place because it just made so much sense to me. It's like, of course the body knows how to heal itself because
Right,
we're made, in God's image, we're made to coexist in a world that has seasons and cycles and has a natural order and has innate intelligence. Like,
right,
why would we
right,
need to take things to fix ourselves, right? Like,
right.
and we have
I
endowed.
always was that way. I mean, I
You
grew up with
always were that way.
the
Yeah.
white coat is what you get sick, give me a pill, right? That I
Yeah.
wanted it immediate. Fix me. You just give me a pill. And I was
Yeah.
like that way up until literally the second truck that hit me, and then
Oh,
I
yeah.
started realizing how dumb I was and how how I've been fed this narrative that was just wrong. So,
Oh, yeah. I grew up and totally not knowing any of this, and I think it was just by some fortune, none of those drugs worked well for me, they made me sicker, right? So, I sort of stumbled into it through my own experience in the very
oh,
beginning, but
good.
yeah, I mean, I agree. It's like not everybody gets there. Some people, I think, pop a pill and it works for them to a point, right? But I
Right.
think
Right.
sooner or later, you're gonna have to start to question, you will start to question what is really going on, and even if it seems to work, in my experience, there's always some downstream impact that's going to come to pass, like
Yeah,
sooner or later,
every
right?
single pharmaceutical drug has a side effect, regardless of what. And one of the frightening things that I found is that the 50% of our seniors are on. No, it was our average senior. That's what it is. Our average senior takes over 15 prescription medications in a year period.
Oh,
So think
wow.
about that. The average. So
Yeah.
that means some are taking 30 and some are taking none, right?
Ugh,
But the average or people are taking 15 prescription medications in a year, and all of them have side effects. So you take it, and man, it might help your knee, but guess what? It's killing your liver, and
yeah.
or vice versa, right? So it's just like so crazy that we need to get away from that, and let's
Yes.
go get people healed at the core, and then
Yes.
when they get healed, their body's going to operate well, and it's going to start healing itself. So I'm a huge
Yeah.
advocate for that, and just excited to help people along that journey because I'm learning that there are a lot of people like you and I that are
Yeah.
really understanding this and really learning this and have tools and techniques and things that we can do to help people. And
Yeah.
so that's what I'm just having a blast helping people now.
Are you struggling with ongoing bloating, diarrhea, constipation, or autoimmune symptoms and feel like you've hit a wall trying to get the answers you're looking for from your doctor? Do you feel like you prefer a natural solution to your health issues rather than a drug based symptom band aid? And deep down, do you feel like if you could just get to the root cause of this problem, you could solve it? That was my experience too, and I'm here to tell you that you can resolve your health struggles through a holistic approach. I'm Courtney Cowie, and I help ambitious and resourceful lifelong learners get to the root cause of their gut and autoimmune symptoms so they can confidently pursue their goals, be active, and enjoy life to the fullest. If this is you and you want an easy and proven place to start, click the link below to download my free e-guide. It contains my top 3 tips for resolving chronic diarrhea and other gut struggles based on my own personal experience and experience helping hundreds of clients.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's dive into a couple of your products of focus or areas of focus, if you will, Rob. So I'm really curious to hear about just what frequency medicine is, and if you
Okay.
wouldn't mind explaining that, and then how you use it within your way of helping people.
Yeah, sounds good. So frequencies was something that I thought were crazy, right? I literally, I didn't realize that your phone uses a frequency to help you. So when I heard of frequencies, I always just thought of the woo-woo people, right? And that's what I thought. I didn't. I just knew that these strange people who wore gowns and they would heal you with frequencies, or they would talk about this stuff, and I thought it was silly. But then I started learning about frequencies because what happened when I was going to do manufacture those supplements, this gentleman came up to me and was helping me and said, "Hey, have you heard of quantum energy?" I'm like, "Quantum what?" So no, so never heard of that. But then here I am in that research mode right now, right? Like, okay, so he told me about this quantum energy and how frequencies help people, and he's got this guy's got a patch that you could put frequencies on, and you put it in your body, and it helps you. And I was like, come on, that give me a break. Has no medicine. It's not doing anything inside my body. Nah, no thanks. But I did my due diligence. I went and started researching. It was so much fun to learn about frequencies because frequencies are not weird. They're everywhere. Color is a frequency. The light, coming down is a frequency. So frequencies are everywhere. Once I realized that they weren't weird, I'm like, okay. And then I started doing research on the body. Right? The human body is so cool that it's literally made up of energy and it interacts even down to the cellular level. Our cells interact with each other through vibrations, which guess what? Gives off and receives frequencies.
Frequency.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So these frequencies can actually have a physical impact on your body and your organs and your cells. And it's like, okay, so I know the human body's not weird. I know that frequencies aren't weird, but I know that they can all interact. And that's when it became fascinating. I started doing research. And one of the guys I love to talk about is, Dr. Emoto, right, with his water and rice studies. I don't know if you've heard of those studies
Yes,
he does.
those are so fascinating. I love those.
Yeah, and,
Tell
and
people
it's
about
so
that.
many people have replicated his studies that it's not false, right? So it's very good information where you're literally your thoughts and actions can control other items, right? So literally he does these. I love the rice experiment. And I'll explain it just real quick. That he has 3 jars of rice and he puts the same amount of water in each one of those jars, and then for 30 days he does a test. For one of the jars, he says, I love you. And then the middle jar, I don't know which jar, but the one other jar he swears at and he hates, and yeah, you're ugly, I hate you, and gets mad at that jar. And then the third one, he just ignores. So he ignores one, he swears and berates the middle one, and he loves the other one. And after 30 days, you look at the difference between those three, and it's just so incredible. The one that he loves is basically white. It's a little murky because the rice has been in water. But the
Mhm.
one that he hates and is spoken bad to is just disgustingly moldy and gross. And the one that he ignored is almost as bad as the one that he swore at. And then people are like, what? That can literally happen. So then lots and lots of other people have replicated the same experiment. So it's just fascinating to see that your thoughts and your emotions and your intentions can have a physical impact on other things. Even praying for somebody, being a Christian, I thought prayer was I pray to the Lord and the Lord goes down and zaps them and heals them, right? But but in interestingly enough, our prayers can have an impact on a physical impact on other people and other things. It was so. I started putting this all together, going, okay, wow, this is incredible. How can I help people with it? So we've created some skin patches that have these frequencies on it. We put skin patch or Bible verses on them as well, and we apply them to the body, and they help with pain relief, allergy relief. etc. So it's really, really cool products and technology that is, at first, when I heard about it, I thought it was crazy, but we've helped hundreds and hundreds of people. We've hundreds of testimonials of people who, had chronic pain, and they couldn't move an arm for 20 years, and then all of a sudden they use our product. An hour later, they can lift their arm. They haven't been able to lift their arm for. I'm like, okay, that's not placebo, right? That's something that literally physically is helping somebody. So that's been fascinating to do it, and frequencies have been fun to learn about, and there's so many different frequency devices that are helping people, and so I really am a big believer in frequencies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As am I. And we were kind of talking prior to recording this that like I really got turned on to this by another practitioner. And I'm definitely not aware of the skin patches. Now I am that you've educated me.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's my
I
biggest problem is I have these amazing products and no one knows about them. But
well, this is why you're here, right? This is why you're here to
that's
explain
right.
all this. But yeah, no, I mean, I have a frequency personal device that I use as well. And I really do feel that based on the research I've done, even looking at like Dr. Joe Dispenza, who does a lot of work into like
Yeah,
people's ability to visualize these like ideal outcomes of health or whatever it is in their life, and it will physically change the body if they concentrate enough energy in that direction. Like it's a real thing. And those water studies, right, are so
yeah,
amazing just
they
to
are. It's
look
so
at
much
that.
fun. So
Yeah.
much fun. That's what's been fun just about what I'm doing, because I'm really trying to find things that really help people in a tangible way. And that's what's
Yeah.
been so fun. So I was doing, as part of our skin patch business, I was doing research with how can I use stuff that's in the Bible that just I can find this amazing combination that maybe no one's ever thought of, or maybe I
Yeah.
can find something in the Bible that no one's found yet that I could do. And so I was doing a ton of research on biblical ingredients in the Bible, and I found some amazing ingredients. There's lots of them. There's 20 plus, elements or ingredients, the superfoods or foods that you can find in the Bible. And so I was trying to find which ones would really help and with the right combination. And God works in such an amazing way. So as part of my church, was working with a woman there, and she's a part of the prayer group at the church. And so a lot of people with health issues come to her for
Mhm.
help, right? They're like, I need prayer for this. I've just got cancer. I just got this, and I need help. And people, that prayer team prays for them. And so I was chatting with her one day and telling her what I was doing. She goes, well, have you ever heard of, this doctor? And this doctor was out of California. And I was like, no, I've never heard of him. So she says, I want to introduce you to him, because she would refer a lot of the people to him, and he was helping people with amazing ways to get them well, and naturally and holistically, things that you do, things you work on to help people. I was just like, wow, it's fascinating. So, I met with this doctor, and I was telling him what I was doing. He's like, I've got this amazing a molecular hydrogen blend that I've been trying to figure out a way to, market it in a faith-based way. And I was like, I've got all these biblical ingredients that I'm trying to figure out, but I wanted something that was just really special, that made a difference in people's lives. And so we came together to create Exodus, and this Exodus supplement is unbelievable. We took the best 7 ingredients that enhance the abilities of the molecular hydrogen, and the combination of those two there's no other product on the globe like it. So it's really exciting, because you take these biblical ingredients, which really give you nutrients and energy and things that people are lacking right now. Then you look at what molecular hydrogen does and how it affects the body, and it gets into your cellular, so your bloodstream, and helps do some amazing things that we'll talk about in a second. But
Yeah.
it just helps the blood, and then as part of that is help people with energy. So it's just like the incredible fatigue and or energy solution. So I have a heart condition called bradycardia, or I did, and
Mm.
this bradycardia was my blood, my pulse was in the 30s. Like walking around every day, and like doctors would just take my pulse, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I'm like, do you feel like you're gonna faint?" And I'm like, "No, I feel fine. I run 3 days a week. I lift weights 5 days a week. I'm a very active person." There's like, how are you walking around with a heart rate in the 30s, right? And then it's like, I don't know. That's the way made me. I thought, I didn't know, but I had this problem for a really long time, and so I would have to take a nap in the afternoon. My body just wasn't getting enough oxygen, right?
Oh,
So what was really cool when we started working with Exodus, started taking the product, and guess what? Not only do I not need my coffee in the morning, I don't need my afternoon breaks. So it's just like I can go through the entire day and feel energetic and revive without having to take other substances to help me, right? So I mean, I love the taste of coffee, and coffee is good, but I love my lattes and things like that. But my gosh, I know it's not healthy for me to drink a lot of those, and so to be able to help people with energy, and then I started doing research on fatigue, and oh my gosh, fatigue and pain and inflammation are like the main reasons people go to see a doctor or go into
yeah.
the practitioner's office is because of one of those problems. And we've just got this incredible product now. It's helping people with energy, and they just they can't believe that they can go throughout the day like they can. So one of the gentlemen is the owner of a gym. He's a really strong physical bodybuilder, and he is actually a professional bodybuilder. But he gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, and he has to go do his workout, and then he trains other people, and in the afternoon he has to do the work for the bills and all the stuff for the gym. And he said in the afternoon he'd crash. And he says ever since I started taking Exes, I don't have that afternoon crash. He goes, I feel amazing. He's like, well, what did you put in this thing? So
Yeah.
it's just been super fun that this product, we're literally just coming to market with it. And so most people don't know that I have this product. We're just doing an official kind of a big launch in late February, more than likely. And then March, we're going to do a much bigger launch that's I'm super excited about because we have an athlete who's supporting us who is very, very well known, who's
Yeah.
going to help us get the word out about this product. So it's really, really exciting because it's helping people in a real tangible way.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, chronic fatigue is probably hands down the number one symptom. And I would say that after gut stuff, right? But I work with a
Right.
lot of people with autoimmune conditions, and both of those camps really, really struggle with that just because, like you said, with that chronic inflammatory response, which is almost always going on in both of those conditions, as well as pain and other things, like it's
Yeah.
like this constant drain or zap to the body. And,
Right.
um, what I was going to ask you is when I first came across molecular hydrogen, the naturopath who was teaching a workshop I was in where I learned about this, I think what he had said is it can actually help with like hydration by making the cells absorb water better. I don't know if that's something that you've heard too, Rob, or if you're like aware of
Yeah,
that,
so
but
that's the
yeah,
really, really cool thing about hydrogen is the there's so many positive effects to it. So
yeah,
if you there's two websites that I want people to just they're super easy to remember, and you just go to hydrogenstudies.com. Super easy, hydrogenstudies.com. Or you go to molecularhydrogenstudies.com. Two super easy sites to remember. But when you go there and you start looking at what hydrogen does inside the body, it's absolutely incredible. And guess what? The big thing, the major things that helped with are inflammation, right?
yeah,
As well as um, the hydration is definitely one of them because what it does, gets into the bloodstream. Because what so really another cool thing, this capsule that we have is got a magnesium blend that's patented that has this, when you put it into your stomach, your body creates molecular hydrogen. So your
oh, wow,
body's creating the hydrogen. Since your body's creating it, your body assimilates it all. Where there are ways to get hydrogen in the body, but it's either through your nose inhaling it, which doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, and
yeah,
or you have to take these pills that get dropped in water, and then you have to drink the hydrogen immediately or it diffuses.
yeah,
So it even diffuses as it's going down your stomach or down your throat. So by your body creating it, the actual absorption into the body is much, much stronger. So we get with our product much more hydrogen inside the bloodstream than any other product, in my opinion. So
yeah,
the cool thing about that, once it gets in the bloodstream, it crosses the blood-brain barrier, so it can help with brain and cognitive issues and things like that. But one of the things that I love is that they call it a master antioxidant. So
yeah,
antioxidants are things just clears the bloodstream, right? But
mm,
a lot of times those antioxidants can clear good stuff. and there's good bacteria, right? There's good things, as you know, with gut health, right? It's super
Yeah.
important to have a real good balance in your thing. So you don't want the antioxidants to get rid of all the good stuff. So this
Yeah.
master antioxidant, was what molecular hydrogen is. It deciphers between what's good and bad. So it knows the good cells that are working well and doing what they're supposed to be doing, but it also knows the bad ones, and it gets rid of those bad ones who are no longer functioning and gets rid of them. And when it gets rid of them, guess what? That's amazing, because then your body doesn't start gathering them all up in a specific spot. And then guess what happens to that spot, right? That spot becomes a problem if you using molecular hydrogen, you have a better likelihood of your body understanding that and getting rid of all the junk. So anyway, it's super, super cool.
Oh, that is so fascinating. And that's so cool that you described how it's actually a product that creates inside, which is different
Yeah,
because where I've tried it, I think it was the drops you put in water. And I remember it was
right.
like a situation where you have to drink it really fast. And
Yeah.
maybe you can do that, but sometimes you don't want to have to be under that kind of stress and
Right, right. Yeah. And who wants
loss
to
in
carry
efficiency.
these capsules around, and then you gotta take them.
Yeah.
Ours are just, you simply just take them in the morning, right? When you have your
Yeah.
breakfast, and
Yeah.
then you're set, right? And even
Yeah.
people who have or really have chronic fatigue, they may take some in the afternoon as well, right?
Yeah.
But the cool thing is you can't take too much of it because it's just healthy ingredients. And the seven biblical ingredients are really cool too, because it's got organic barley grass, organic wheatgrass, aloe, cumin, and then frankincense and myrrh. And so the combination of those are really cool. The energy, the nutrients you get just out of the barley grass and wheatgrass. A lot of people have to take those green shakes and make a green shake to have their greens for the day. With
Mhm.
our product, you don't need that, because it gives you the nutrients you need as part of this supplement. So then you get the benefits of the nutrients you need. You get benefits of the anti-inflammation properties of the other biblical ingredients, and then you add molecular hydrogen into it, and it's just like, wow, this supplement is the core foundational product that a lot of practitioners are starting to use. Of these holistic health practitioners I'm working with, they're like, we recommend it as a foundation. When someone comes to me and we're going to work on their issues, we start them off with Exodus, because we know it's going to start helping with their nutrients and with their inflammation, and then we start dialing into what's the problem, right? And we
Yeah.
start fixing and identifying the core problem. But they're using our product to supplement the what, and then they typically use it after, because they love the effects of the product and it's helping. And it's a lot cheaper than buying a cup of coffee from Starbucks every day. That's for sure.
Oh gosh, for sure. And I mean, it's totally great to enjoy, beverages like that you love. I mean, I'm a coffee fan too, but it's not so great when you're like reliant on it to have
Yeah,
energy to get through the day,
yeah,
right? It's like a
yeah.
double-edged
You're like,
thing.
oh, I
So
haven't had my coffee today.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you kind of don't want to have those like tethers and like worst case scenario, if you just didn't have time to get it in or you were traveling, you don't want to be walking around with this major headache or something. So this
Right,
is where having these like foundational supports, I think, just makes so much more sense. And, sometimes the healing journey can be a process, and I
for
find
sure.
that having these types of products in the mix can help support energy or support function as you're kind of slowly working on resolving those like deeper stressors or root
Yeah,
cause
yeah,
issues.
because some
So,
of them can take, months and months, right, to
oh
to
gosh.
happen, or longer, as you know. But
Oh
the cool
gosh.
thing is, once you identify the core, and you can start peeling the onion out and start fixing these things, and it's just like, wow, you're transforming your body into that fighting machine. Instead of the world fighting it, your body can
Exactly.
fight off the world, right? So let's get our bodies to be this immune busters, where they just are strong, and they can fight off any bad things that are trying to enter your body.
Yeah, oh, for sure, Rob. So there's what you did such a beautiful job, by the way, of describing all those things. I think we hit on all of like the major questions I had around just
Okay, awesome.
master antioxidant and molecular hydrogen and frequency. So that's awesome. But I did want to just touch on one more question, which is going to
Okay.
pivot a bit here before we wrap up, which is what would you tell people who are struggling with whether it's like a form of IBS or IBD or autoimmune disease? Because they can be sometimes very challenging to get to the root of, and obviously the listening audience is probably on that pastor trying to figure that out. And if they
Right.
felt dismissed by doctors and also misunderstood by friends and family, particularly if their friends and family don't support a holistic health approach. And sometimes what I found is people can come to me in a very hopeless, dark place, right?
Right. Right.
What kind of like spiritual perspective or guidance could you offer this person who's maybe just wondering if they can heal, wondering if they're gonna get to a better place? Just wondering if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I do have a lot of thoughts on that because I think it's super, super important, right? Prayer is incredibly powerful. In fact, I've been going through a health issue that I'll talk about in the next maybe in another episode we can talk through because
Yeah,
it's a really important one. And I'm
yeah,
going through it, and as I'm going through this, I've read this one book like 7 times on the healing in the Bible, right? And you start looking at how the Lord healed people, and then you look at all the prayers related to healing, and it's like, wow, I wish someone could pray those over me. And
yeah,
guess what? The amazing thing is you can pray over them yourself. And so, and there's amazing verses in the Bible and amazing teaching in the Bible, and amazing books that have been written about it. And literally, I just created this new tool that we're going to put on Exodus. ExodusStrong.com is our website. We're going to put that tool on there. It's just create your own healing prayer guide. So it
oh,
would you tell it what your health issue is and your name, and then it's going to give you a 7-day plan on healing and prayer. So it'll say, how do you pray for healing? Because some people may not understand how to ask the Lord for it. You don't just beg, right? Say, heal my toe, right? That's just not the proper way to pray. So it teaches you the proper way to pray, to give thanks, and to do it in a methodical way. But then you're praying for that specific health issue, and then it gives you Bible verses that you can memorize. And once you start memorizing those words and those verses, guess what? It enters your spirit. When you're memorizing them, the word becomes part of you. And then as you're asking for that healing, the Lord is going to heal a lot of people just because they have that faith that the Lord can heal them and will heal them. And as you're continuing to do this process over and over and over again, you believe it, and you start believing it. And guess what? The Lord may bless you and heal you without anybody else. But so that's one area and one thing. I just think you don't need my tool to do it. There, you can go to the Bible, you can look for healing verses in the Bible, and you can start memorizing them yourself, and then just start that repetitive process. Because once your spirit, like the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible, right? She really felt that she needed to be healed, and it was by her touching his garment she was going to be healed, and she believed that. It was in her
mhm,
spirit that that was going to happen, and so you can have that same belief. And it was because of her belief that when she did touch it, she was healed. And the Lord told her that, right? So be through your faith, you were healed. And so,
yeah,
but sometimes developing that faith can be hard, right?
right,
So it's like, okay, yeah, the Lord's going to heal me. Come on. I've heard of that happening to somebody else. I've read it in a book, but how are they going to heal me?
yeah,
But once you can develop that faith, and that faith becomes through reading the word and memorizing some scripture, and you develop that faith, then you can have that same faith that the woman with the issue of blood. So, anyway, it's just fascinating. It's something I'm really passionate about, and I think people can do. They can heal, and then just finding other people who can support you. There are tons of groups and tons of people who can help you support you along your health journey, because there is always hope. There's always
yes,
hope in the Lord, and there's always the hope that your body can do amazing, incredible things. We just need to help get it the things it needs, and that can start doing the amazing things that it will do. And so there's lots of practitioners who are going to try to help you get there, and it may be a hard journey. It may be difficult. You may have told for decades that you can't get it fixed, but guess what? That's hogwash. It can
yeah,
everybody's problems can be healed, and maybe it's directly from the Lord, Maybe it's from you just meeting the right person, and that person might have the answer to
Mhm.
help you. So don't give up hope, and just know that the Lord is there for you. There's lots of people like myself and you that are just helping people in a real substantial way, and that you can always reach out to.
Exactly. No, I agree wholeheartedly, and I also feel like it's so important on this path to just kind of always trust, right? Like there's that timeline that we want for ourselves for these
Yeah,
things to happen. And I think, it's like kind of going through a tunnel and you don't know what it's going to be till you get out the other side. And I think sometimes, even if you feel like you're in a dark place and you've been in a dark place for a while, you have to trust and believe that there is some greater goodness that's going to
yeah,
come from this challenge or this trial,
yeah,
right? And,
yeah.
you know, it's a curious balance of like, oh,
It is a
believe.
curious balance, but guess what? That's what happened
Yeah,
to me, right? I went through this whole life journey where the Lord was training me for it, and that's probably
yeah,
what He's doing to you, is that
yeah,
you're going through this issue, and yes, this is a valley, but there's always you can get out of the valley, and once
yeah,
you do, you're going to look back on it and say, oh, now I get it. Yeah, that sucked while I was there, right? And that, but we've all had that issue. Lots of people have had similar issues, but you do have hope, and you have hope in the Lord, right? Just pray about it, and He
yeah,
can do amazing things. And then maybe it's not the Lord heals you, but maybe He introduces you to that person, who then introduces you to the other person, who introduces you to the other person, who is the person who's going to heal you. So
exactly.
it's just incredible how He works, but just have faith that it will work and that you can, and then you're going to be able to use that story as your journey, right? You're going to say, guess what? I had this health condition for decades. I was hopeless. It couldn't get it fixed. And guess what? This is what is amazing. This is how I was able to do it. And guess what? Now I can help you. And
Yeah.
I want to help you. And then man, you're going to feel so much better because not only did you get through it, but then you've been blessed by helping all these other people do the same thing, right? And then let's just continue to have that snowball effect and let's change the world, right? In a very positive way.
I love that. That's so good. Well, Rob, I think we've had an amazing conversation today. Before we sign off, I'd like you to share again the best way for the listening audience to find you, look into your products, connect with you.
Sounds great. So the easiest way is exodusstrong.com. Super easy to remember, right? Exodus like the book in the Bible, and then strong together is the way to find products and solutions that we offer, which are going to be just amazing things we're working on, and some things, fascinating things coming down the pipe. But our Exodus product is the foundation, so it's something you can use today and really impact your life and or the life of another. And then I'm just starting my own. Pages are called Rob Renee Health. So Rob Renee Health is my new social media sites and presence. I'm starting to tell my story about what's going on with my health and an interesting journey that I'm on, and you'll be able to follow along with that and see how I'm using all these natural solutions to help me battle something that lots and lots and lots of other people are battling and have battled, and you're going to see my journey. So it's a fascinating
Nice.
one.
What's your preferred social media platform? Do you have one?
I don't, but Instagram and Facebook are probably the top two. But I do love X as well. So it's
Yeah.
either Facebook, or Instagram. But they would
Okay.
say the top three.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll be sure to link your social media handle in the show notes so people can connect with you there and
Awesome.
follow your health journey. So, well, thank you so much. I so appreciate having you come on, tell your story,
Yeah.
give a very much needed and different perspective on health and just bringing in the spiritual and faith-based element. I think it'll be really refreshing for people who just don't get that kind of perspective every day, right?
Right, right. I'm praying we just we're able to help one person. Hopefully, one person in the call just thought, "Oh, hey, yes, I can be more like that," or "Hey, maybe I need to go read the Bible to talk about that," or "Hey, maybe I need to just learn about this particular product or component, and or just have this mind, body, spirit be in connection together, and then how powerful those are when you do put those together." So
Yeah.
just pray that people can get well and get healthy, and then pray that they can have an impact on the globe.
Oh, for sure. And go to Rob's website, use his little tool to put your own prayer generation. And I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. I'm gonna do some really neat things about that in the future to get it emailed to you and all those types of things. But it's
Cool.
pretty raw right now, but it works really, really cool. I have mine printed out and I say those prayers every morning. So
I
I
love it.
encourage you to do the same.
Did you find this episode informative and helpful? I'd love to have you leave me a 5-star rating. Do you have questions about holistic approaches to optimizing gut health that you'd like to ask? Please leave your question or comment below, and I will be sure to address it personally or cover it in a future episode. Be sure to check the show notes for any resources mentioned in today's episode. See you next time.